Hi, my name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another episode in my Kindle Unlimited recommendations videos. If you guys haven't seen the other ones, I have done horror, sci-fi, and romance so far, and all of those will be linked in the description if you are interested in getting some more Kindle Unlimited recommendations. Today though, we are here to talk about fantasy books on Kindle Unlimited, and as a friendly reminder, the way I like to start my videos is to remind you that if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription and you read enough during the month, you can actually make it so that Amazon loses money via your subscription. And we love when Amazon loses money, right? So I have a good amount of recommendations in front of me today. I have them pulled up on the computer. We are just gonna go through them, try to get through them pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The first one that I have pulled up is a pretty popular one. This is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. This is described as enemies to lovers, doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. It says it is played out against a backdrop of opulence, secrets, and bloody history. This is book 1 of 2 in the duet, and this is the only one that's available on Kindle Unlimited. Moving on, the next one we have is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is book 1 in the Kindred's Curse saga, and it looks like all of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited to read. With detailed world building, a brooding and troubled anti-hero, and a heroine with a strong backbone, struggling between duty to family, love, and all mortal kind. This epic, slow burn romantasy is a page turner for romance and fantasy fans alike. And this one says, when old secrets catch fire, everything will burn. Next, we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is book 1 of 2 in the Wicked Games series, Duet. Both of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited, and for this one, it says, welcome to Phantasma. There are only 2 rules to the game. Stay alive and don't fall in love. This is tagged as dark fantasy horror, and it is also tagged as being pretty spicy. Next up, we have Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa Rowridge. This is book 1 of 4 in the Legacy series, and I believe that all 4 of these books are available to read on Kindle Unlimited. In a realm created by gods, Tessalyn becomes a personal source to the heir of endings in the dark Arius kingdom, discovering secrets that could change their forgotten world. The next book we have is Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Moss. This has a very long subtitle that I'm going to read to you guys. A dark romantasy of myth and power, perfect for fans of Greek mythology and spicy book talk reads. The best fantasy romance of 2024. This is book 1 of 2 in the Villains of Lore series. The second book has not yet been released, but this one is described as sarcastically funny, dark fantasy romance reimagining of Hercules, and this is tagged in the LGBT category, so if that's something that you're looking for in your fantasy, this might be a fun one to pick up. As far as the plot, it says, at the Spartan War Academy, survivor Alexis Hurt must earn immortality while navigating demanding mentors, brooding underworld heirs, and mysterious monsters hunting her in this spicy, dark romance. Okay, so it's like a dark romance fantasy. The next one we have, I've never seen these books before, but I'm kind of obsessed with the covers. This is a 3-book series, the Veiled Kingdom series, the first one being called The Veiled Kingdom. This is by Holly Renee, and it says, this is a scorching new fantasy romance that ignites the pages with relentless danger, forbidden passion, and the intoxicating allure of enemies to lovers. All 3 of the books in the series are available to read on Kindle Unlimited as well. Moving on, we have Bewitched by Laura Thalassa. It looks like this is part of a series. I think it might be an ongoing series. As far as I know, the first 2 books right now are available on Kindle Unlimited, and the 3rd book has not yet been released. This one says it is about a young witch seeking acceptance into Henbane Coven, encounters an ancient evil who mistakes her for his dead wife. As murders plague the coven, she must rely on him to solve the mystery. The next one we have is called Guild, and this is book 1 in the Plated Prisoners series. It looks like there are 6 books in this series, and I think they are all available on Kindle Unlimited. This is tagged as being a mythology and legend fantasy book that is about a woman who is turned into gold by King Midas, must navigate a dangerous world of power, love, and betrayal in this gripping fantasy series. Next up, we have a pretty popular romantasy one again. This is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer? I don't know how you say that. This is book 1 of 2, I believe, and it looks like only the first one is available on Kindle Unlimited. This says it is about a young woman named Evie Sage who accepts a job as an assistant to a notorious villain. She must navigate her attraction to her boss while uncovering a conspiracy threatening his empire. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this one, but if it's one you've been wanting to read, you can read it on Kindle Unlimited today. Next up, I think this is another like dark romance fantasy, The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. This is book 1 of 4 in the Gods and Monsters series, and I believe all of these books are available to read on Kindle Unlimited. It is described as being a book talk sensation. I think that's true because I've seen a lot of this book online. Diana serves a monster while hunting a relic from Sam Keel, the World Ender. Together, these enemies must overcome their hatred to save all worlds. Next up, I think this is a break from the romantasy. This one is called After the Flood by Cassandra Montag. A mother and daughter embark on a perilous voyage to find the daughter's missing sister, encountering secrets, lust, and betrayal along the way in a flooded future world. So this is tagged as fantasy adventure and dystopian sci-fi. So I guess it's a fantasy sci-fi adventure, which maybe I should read because I'm learning that's something that I really, really like. Next, we have another popular series. This is, I think, a 12-book series. All of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited. This is the Zodiac Academy series. So this is described as an enemies to lovers romantasy, and this says, a Fae twin discovers she must prove herself the most powerful supernatural at Solaria's dangerous magical academy, while facing hostile dragon shifters and navigating intense supernatural politics. So it's kind of like a fantasy romantasy with an academic setting, if that's something that you're into. Next, we have a book called A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. This is book 1 of 4 in the Kingdom of Lies series, and it looks like all of these books are available to read on Kindle Unlimited. In Ipratha, magic is sacrificed to the gods in return for protection from the vicious Fae. Wielding forbidden power is punishable by death. When Priska's magic is discovered, she must flee her tiny village and ally with a ruthless mercenary and his lethal friends. The mysterious, arrogant mercenary forces Priska to confront truths about herself and her magic that will reshape the future of the 4 kingdoms. Truths that will lead to war. So it sounds like it's got some romance going on. Maybe it's a little bit high stakes, and it's also tagged under mythology and folklore. Next up is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. This is about a convent-raised third-born daughter who must complete 3 impossible tasks from a witch to save her abused sister and overthrow the prince. This is tagged as a fairy tale and a coming-of-age fantasy. The next book that I have for you guys is called Trials of the Sun Queen by Anisha J. Tooley. This is book 1 of 4 in a series, and all of these books are available to read on Kindle Unlimited. This one is about 10 women competing in a deadly contest to win the Sun King's heart. And we also have our main character who is struggling to get out from under the wrath of the Aurora King. Next up is Blood and Steel, which is book 1 in another 4-book series, and all of these books are available to read on Kindle Unlimited. This one is about a young woman who trains in secret to become a warrior and falls for her chaperone while battling invading evil. This one is tagged as being an epic fantasy book. The next one we have is Metal Slinger here, this says it is book 1 in the Fire and Metal series, but I believe this is the only one that has been released so far. It says it is a breakout romantasy sensation by Rachel Snyder. A guard in training among the exiled Allaha people encounters an enemy soldier at the Kenta market, leading to revelations about her true identity and a magical world she never knew existed. The next one we have is called Riftborn. This is book 1 in a trilogy that is still being released. This is by Parker Lennox and Bree Greenwich. A woman with a secret power navigates a city of prejudice, faces a growing threat, and confronts her feelings for a mysterious general in a thrilling fantasy adventure. Next is The Wolf King, which is book 1 of 2. When a princess is kidnapped by an alpha, war rages between the humans and the wolves, but soon forbidden attraction starts to grow. So it's another romantasy. This one is by Lauren Palferman. I just have to say it. I do apologize if I mispronounce any of the names in here. Author names, character names. Okay, it's fantasy. It's hard. Give me a break. The next book we have is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. It does say it is book 1 of 2, but I don't know if the second book is out yet or if there's a continuing series from this one. It says, the gods love to play with us mere mortals, and every 100 years we let them. This is about a cursed office clerk who is chosen by Hades to compete in a deadly contest to determine a new ruler of Olympus. And I think it's safe to assume that there's going to be some romance in here. The next one we have is A Harvest of Hearts by Andrea Eames. Sorry, I couldn't see if it was an E or an F. This is described as a whimsical and unforgettable cozy fantasy about adventure, common sense, and the power of love. A cheeky butcher's daughter, a befuddlingly handsome sorcerer, and his clever talking cat unlock magical secrets in the dark heart of their kingdom. That sounds kind of fun. So this is tagged as fantasy, adventure, and paranormal romance. Next up, we have Divine Rivals, which is book 1 of 2. Both of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited. When two young rival journalists find love through a magical connection, they must face the depths of hell in a war among gods to seal their fate forever. This one, once again, is a pretty popular one. Next up, we have Bound by Dragons by Alicia Klefecki. I don't know if that's how you say it. This is book 1 of 4 in a series, and I think all of these books are available on Kindle Unlimited. A half-fae squire secretly enters a dragon riding tournament to become a mist knight, while catching the attention of the disciplined second in command. This is a sweet romance with mature themes, and this is tagged as young adult. Next up is 2 books by Olive E. Blake. The first one is Masters of Death. This is a story about vampires, ghosts, and death itself. It is about a struggling real estate agent who is also a vampire, seeks out a medium to help her with a ghost-infested mansion. The medium, who is also a fraud, becomes involved in a quest to solve the ghost's murder. I never knew what this book was about. I love the cover, and now I think I might pick it up based off of that synopsis. The next one by her is called One for My Enemy. This is an intricate web of love, magic, and rival witch families in New York City. So I believe this is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, right? If I'm wrong, just pretend that I didn't say that. The next one we have is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. A tale of ambition, jealousy, and superpowers where a shared research interest in adrenaline and near-death experiences leads to a deadly experiment and a bitter rivalry between 2 former friends. This is tagged as superhero fantasy. Next up is 2 books by R.F. Kuang. The first one is The Poppy War, which is book 1 of 3 in a series. All 3 of the books are available to be read on Kindle Unlimited. This is described as a dark-skinned orphan discovers shamanic powers, attends an elite military academy, and must master her abilities to prevent a devastating war. The next one we have by this author is Babel. This is about a Chinese orphan trained in translation magic at Oxford, must choose between upholding Britain's colonial power or joining the anti-imperialist resistance. Next, we have another series. This is the Green Bone Saga. The first book is Jade City, and all three of these books are available to read on Kindle Unlimited. These are by Fonda Lee. In this world fantasy award-winning novel, four siblings battle rival clans for honor and power in an Asia-inspired fantasy metropolis, where Jade is the lifeblood of the island and enhances magical abilities. I've heard a lot of good things about this book. I know it's a very well-loved series, so if you've been meaning to read it, go ahead and pick it up now. The next one we have is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. A family of powerful warriors defends their empire from invaders, but internal conflicts and secrets threaten their unity. This is tagged as Asian myth and legend and coming-of-age fantasy. Next, we have the very, very popular Fourth Wing. This is part of a trilogy. The first two books are available to read on Kindle Unlimited, and this is by Rebecca Yarros. I don't know if I really need to tell you the plot because I feel like we all know what the plot is, but this is at a war college for dragon riders. Fragile Violet must survive brutal training and deadly competition while uncovering dark secrets. This is also being developed for a TV series by MGM Amazon Studios, it says. So if you've been meaning to read it before the show comes out and you've been slacking, you're a little bit behind on the hype, then you can pick it up now. The next one we have is A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Liang. This is about a woman who uses her beauty as a weapon to topple a rival kingdom, but risks everything when she falls in love with her mentor. This is tagged again as Asian myth and legend, and it's also tagged as historical fantasy. We have another series. This is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. This is book 1 of 3, and this is young adult fantasy. In a notorious prison, a young healer risks her life by taking the place of a rebel queen in a deadly elemental trial, fighting for survival amidst rebellion and plague. I've heard a lot of good things about this series. Next up, we have The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is book 1 of 3, but this is the only book that you can read on Kindle Unlimited. This says, in a world where Earth's power is weaponized, a woman with a secret ability searches for her kidnapped daughter amid global catastrophe and betrayal. This is tagged as Black and African American fantasy fiction and also dystopian fantasy adventure. Next, we have a really popular one. This is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is book 1 of 2. I don't think that the second book is out just yet. This is another romantasy. A girl with strange powers is transported to a land of ice and snow, where she must navigate a centuries-long conflict between the Fae and humans, all while trying to survive and make it back home. I just have a couple more for you guys today. They are both by the author Carissa Broadbent. The first one is Daughter of No Worlds, which is book 1 of 3 in the War of Lost Hearts series. You can read all 3 of these books on Kindle Unlimited. First of all, can we take a moment because I think this cover is so gorgeous. I'm not normally a fan of like people on covers, even if they're animated, but I think this one is stunning with the red. I don't know. A former slave fighting for justice, a reclusive warrior who no longer believes it exists, and a dark magic that will entangle their fates. This is tagged as epic fantasy and also romantasy. And the next one that we have, like I said, by Carissa Broadbent is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This is book 1 of 4 in a series. Only the first 2 books are out as far as I know, and those are both available to read on Kindle Unlimited. For humans and vampires, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. This is the only book I think on this entire list that I've actually read. I did really enjoy it, and I'm not somebody who reads a lot of fantasy or a lot of romantasy, so I feel like that's a good sign. So with all of that being said, there are about 40 or so book recommendations for you guys if you're looking for fantasy on Kindle Unlimited. If you enjoyed this, let me know if you want a part 2. I'm sure there are plenty more out there. Once again, you can check out the other Kindle Unlimited recommendation videos. Those are down in the description. With all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.